Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Living Large Las Vegas. My name is Kobe Sherlock, and today, back in the lab, Mr. Derek Parent. Derek, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Guys, today we're bringing to you a really special guest for us, a great friend, and an incredible partner for our community, and somebody who is really a pillar and a leader here. It is the president and CEO of the Henderson Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Scott Muelrath. So thank you, Scott, for joining us. Say hello to everybody.
Well, hello, everybody. Kobe, Derek, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
And it's honestly a pleasure. It's been a long time for us. We couldn't wait to get you in here and really just highlight. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll save it. Just highlight all the greatness that's happening around us and what you're up to. So before we dive in, will you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure, yeah. So we moved, the family moved here back in 2001. And sort of that's what we were talking earlier, my somewhat dirty secret is I live in Boulder City and I run the Henderson Chamber of Commerce. But that's okay because we have members all across Southern Nevada. Actually have more members in Las Vegas than we do in Henderson. So very regional advocacy organization. I'm in my 9th year now with the Henderson Chamber, leading the organization. 9 years ago, we were about 700 members, and we're up and over 1,800 members now. And prior to that, I worked for 4 city enterprises and managed the Galleria at Sunset and some of the other real estate holdings they had here in Southern Nevada. So.
Well, Scott, I tell you, the city, even since I've been here, has changed so much in so many great ways. How has it been, in your leadership role there over the course of 9 years, really watching that shift and watching everything kind of come together as we have today? What's that been like?
Oh, it's just been it's been a fantastic period, and it's go time right now in Henderson and Southern Nevada. If you're not moving and shaking right now, you're not in the game. So it's been great to see. A key part of our organization is our Henderson Development Association, which is really the economic development arm of our chamber. And it has its own board of trustees, but we really get invested into helping companies grow here in Henderson, keeping them here if they're running into obstacles as far as development goes. It could be anything from finding new real estate for them, or maybe they have a construction issue that we can assist them with. Sometimes zoning issues. The city of Henderson's a great partner with us in what we do with the HDA. And so right now, it's across Henderson, really across Southern Nevada. There's so much great development going on.
Yeah, the chamber is just doing a phenomenal job of bringing people to take together, going to all the events. I was at the last HDA and just the questions and seeing what's going on in West Henderson, but not only West Henderson, but the whole town exploding. Tell us about some of the new projects coming, or what's the most exciting thing for the chamber?
Yeah, well, I think, we really kind of ride along with the momentum, but we push and pull it along too, right? So what's exciting right now is I think nationally anyone would be hard-pressed to find a city that has more professional sports development going on in it than Henderson. We certainly, we have the Knights Arena being the community ice sheets being constructed down on Water Street, where the recently announced Henderson Silver Knights will be playing or practicing rather. And then at the mayor's state of the city just last week, it was revealed that the new arena would be going into Green Valley with about a 5,000 seating capacity. Where the Silver Knights will be playing their games. And there'll also be some other community purpose behind the event, have a lot of community events in that facility. And then, of course, in West Henderson, you have the Raiders practice facility, which is driving a lot of attention and focus and development on the west side.
And that whole area is just exploded. The bread company, the bread factory, and Smith's put their fulfillment center up there. So just to see Pinecrest went up over there. So it's amazing to see because, I moved into that area about 3 years ago. That old area, St. Rose, nothing was really going on. And just to see the explosion in the last couple of years is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, really 3 years ago, you had the Levi Distribution Center on the corner and FedEx Distribution Center, and that was kind of it in West Henderson. And then, in the last 3 years, we've got all these spec industrial projects. We were just out there this morning. I was doing an interview with a reporter from the New York Times, and we were talking about just the landscape of West Henderson. You have the Amazon Fulfillment Center going in behind the Raiders facility. You have the Toronto Baking, which you just mentioned. I mean, who wouldn't want to smell bread going home, right? So, the distribution centers, Kroger, and the big Haas automation plant that's coming as well as arguably the biggest economic development win for the city, if not Southern Nevada yet.
Yeah, Haas is bringing that's brought a lot of momentum. We have a ton of employment opportunities coming from Haas. It's been a lot of fun to kind of track their progress and their journey here to Henderson. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we have an event coming up actually on March the 18th where we're going to be featuring the executive team from Haas and Mayor March, where we'll just have a panel and really talk about the recruitment effort of Haas and then what their 10-year vision forward looks like and the impact in Henderson and the development schedule, the 2,500 jobs that will be in place by the time that they're all done with their project.
What's been the secret that we've had so many amazing companies wanting to come to Henderson? Like what's our secret sauce? Because there's lots of places that people can go, but Henderson seems to be the place everyone wants to be.
So it's a great community, I think, as a starting point. I like to say you can pick up Henderson and set it down anywhere in the country, and it would do just fine. I mean, we have the Strip is certainly a huge part of our economy. It needs to succeed, need to have full hotel rooms, but a lot of the people coming and going, a lot of the services that affect the Strip, the people live in Henderson. We have a lot of great higher education institutions that have chosen Henderson over the years. Roseman University, they're celebrating their 20-year history this year. Toro University, Nevada State College, fastest growing college.
Nevada State College. Right. I got to come out to the groundbreaking for the College of Education. Incredible event. Yeah. I thought they did great.
Yeah, and it's just CSN as well is just doing a lot of great things in the workforce development space and really been out there on catering their programs to the needs of some of these companies like Haas Automation, for example. CSN's working very closely with them to make sure that they're training the type of engineers that Haas will need to run those tool presses. So
I love that across the board, as we get more and more guests on that are working in Henderson and in various industries and leaders. We had Marcy here from the library. That was a lot of fun. But the common, message from everyone is there is growth and excitement about what's happening in Henderson now, but also for years to come as this begins to develop now. And so for you, if someone was thinking, I'm considering Henderson, what would you say to that person looking to move here to Southern Nevada and choose Henderson as home?
Yeah, stop considering and get moved here. Get a loan from cross country and let's do it. We don't want to. We want to encourage people to get here and become a part. And it's contagious. Just like, hey, we experienced the other end of contagious, right, in the recession, and that was not memories that we like, and now it's contagious enthusiasm and development that is really pushing things forward. And I think it's a very healthy level of growth that's going on right now, and I just want to keep it even keel and keep it going up.
Yeah, I love what Jeremy Aguero's message was, and that's why this economy is booming. Enjoy it. Take the time to really make money and really take advantage of what's to offer around us as we continue to move upward in the upward trends of our economy, specifically obviously here in Henderson and of course Southern Nevada with Las Vegas doing so well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And other platforms and programs that we have that maybe I'll pivot a little bit off development is one of the things that's really important to our organization is our nonprofit community, our 501c3 members. We have about 75 of those that are members of our organization. So we have a program called Community Cares where we align quarterly with one of our nonprofit members and figure out what they need and who doesn't need some fundraising, but often it could be strategic planning or volunteerism. And more and more we learn that companies that are in Henderson and Southern Nevada are looking for ways to bridge over to these types of nonprofits. And we have some really small organizations doing really great work. And sometimes these nonprofits as well, we kind of filter and vet them because if you show up with 20 volunteers at a given day at the wrong organization, they don't have the ability to put you to work or use your services. So we sort of filter and work with them on behalf of the business community to make sure that the company's times are being put to the best use.
Speaking into, you brought up a lot of the companies like Toro and all the other colleges or Nevada State, being in Henderson Leadership now for the class of 2020, I thought it was probably one of the greatest, leadership classes I've taken. And I've done, personal development stuff, but Henderson Leadership has been amazing for, one for personal development, but just business, like just getting to see actually what Henderson does or Nevada State College does. If you're not a part of the chamber, you don't really get to know how great and how special Henderson really is. And that's I think one of my favorite tours so far would have been down at Nevada State College.
Yeah.
I thought that was really insightful. The last one at the police department was really good because they taught us to do some CPR, like not so much mouth, but push and stop the bleed. You're going there, you're getting educated, and you're learning from a lot of the responders. Although I can't give it all away, but I tell you, if Henderson Leadership, I think, is probably one of the best I've ever done, and I think anyone they should sign up for it. It's a great program.
Well, appreciate that. Appreciate that vote of support and your experience. I'm glad to hear it. It's one of our flagship programs for the chamber, actually run by our foundation. And it's been going strong, and it's a great way to network too, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what a chamber needs to do, is figure out these different pockets and methods of putting people together that can benefit from just being around one another.
It's a different level of networking. It's not just going to a breakfast and standing up saying a name, but actually getting to know people at a deeper, intimate level. In all the other community leaders in Henderson.
Right.
And we've had a few of them on the podcast already, so it's been just hearing what they're doing and how they're doing their part for our city.
What I love too, in my experience with Henderson Chamber, has been that level of connectivity that is offered, right? I really feel like a lot of it is relationship driven, and it's such a good thing because as people come in, and I'm sure you know this, it feels great to be able to feel a part of something. And with such great movement and such, great growth here, how important is it for us to still carry that small town family feel? I feel like every time I go to a Henderson Mixer, the breakfast, everyone is really doing such an incredible job of connecting, you to someone else, who haven't you met yet, asking the right questions, and really driving and connecting folks within the organization. And it's funny you mentioned nonprofits, because we had Kathleen Miller on here, who's a great nonprofit in Henderson. And Derek and I do a lot with nonprofits. And so knowing that Henderson is a source for even more nonprofits to succeed in the city and really be welcomed and vetted and, utilized as a tool for other companies to get involved and support, I think it's really special. So I appreciate you speaking into that and really creating a space for nonprofits to grow and flourish.
Definitely. I mean, that's we're the conduit. That's how I always view it. And we're putting together business to business and to business to those in need too. And you need to be giving back, as I think every successful company does to varying degrees. And we need to support those initiatives.
Well, you always put yourself out there. You're at every event that you can attend. You greet everyone with open arms. What's the next biggest thing coming for you and for the chamber?
So as the chamber world is kind of cycles, right? And the business world, the March, April, spring season, everyone's, ready to go after coming back from the new year. And so we really try and line up a good array of events that we have through the course of the year. That includes, Leadership Henderson's growing strong. We mentioned the HDA event with Haas that we have coming up in March. We have a very big sponsor event we call Insight, and we bring in Hightower advisors, and they do an economic oversight for all of our sponsors in the chamber. That's up at the Askaya Clubhouse in Henderson, of course. And, it's just kind of lining up all the activities and keeping things moving forward and pedal to the metal. So until it gets to be 110 out and it doesn't slow down like it used to, right? I mean, 4 or 5, 6 years ago, it'd be a little more tamped down in July, but now that the team kind of gives me a hard time that there's no more slow time. So
I come from the Southeast, man. So the heat out here isn't nearly as bad as down there. You walk outside in Nashville and you're sweating first, and then you feel the heat. So I don't mind it here in Vegas. It's really it's not a breeze, but it's much better than what I've experienced in the past.
Right. It's dry.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Almost like that oven heat. You mentioned initiatives, and I wanted to ask a little bit about the association health plan, and maybe you can give some insight. I think this is super important for listeners and obviously business owners and members of the chamber. Can you speak into a little bit about that ruling in D.C.?
Absolutely. So we're really expecting to hear any day now, hopefully a positive outcome of our appeal back in D.C., and what that is, briefly, our association health plan is the largest chamber-affiliated health plan in the country. We have just under 11,000 lives insured, a lot of sole proprietors, 1099s, and small businesses. We have about 500 businesses that are members in the plan. It was working very well. We're aligned with United Healthcare, and we had 15 different plans, HMOs, PPOs, POS plans, and everything is political these days, and the very short version is it was closed down for enrollment. It's still in place, meaning if you're in one of our health plans that you are still covered, and but we haven't been able to enroll anyone, any new businesses, or grow the pool. So there was an appeal that's currently, we're just waiting the outcome. There's 3 judges evaluating all the information at hand. And again, just to keep it very brief, we hope to have a positive outcome of that in the coming weeks that will allow us to open the association health plan for enrollment again. So,
well, listeners, be looking out. Some huge news, obviously, coming from above in D.C. and obviously impacting us right here at home. So obviously we'll try to keep you posted on that as well on our end, but be looking out for Henderson for a message there. Scott, for other opportunities for folks to get involved, obviously there's membership with Henderson, but what other neat opportunities exist within the foundation and the organization? For instance, I know Jane, my better half here, is an ambassador for Henderson Chamber. So can you speak a little bit about what kind of opportunities there are?
Yeah, I mean, there is something going on that we're driving forward on a weekly, if not daily basis. Even tomorrow, we have a program that we go into some of the local high schools with called I Can Be. And it's volunteer intensive. It takes about 45 volunteers, and we go in for the day, and the freshman class from each of these high schools tomorrow will be at Foothill High School. And we divide up these 45 volunteers into their different categories. It might be finance, it might be tourism, it might be government. So you have 3 or 4 different professionals at each booth, and the kids come through and they have an assignment. They got to ask a few questions, and really the goal is to teach the kids about the different career paths by talking to people in the industry. So we've been doing it a good number of years. We have a scholarship fund, the Arnold Lopez Memorial Scholarship Fund. Arnold was worked for NV Energy for many years in economic development, served on our boards, and we lost Arnold a couple years ago now. But we provide the scholarship monies to essays, to the winning essays of kids that write the best essays coming out of the program. So it's a very rewarding day, but it asks a lot of our volunteers because they're all day. They're talking about 800 kids. So.
Jeez. That's a ton of people to go through, honestly.
Yeah. Educating the youth.
That's it. It's super important, especially when we're getting that message out here about, the improvements in education and the strides that we're making to grow. Yeah. We always talk about it, and I feel like people have that negative connotation sometimes surrounding education, and that's just not true, right? I mean, what's education been like here in Henderson as we've continued to grow?
Well, we have one of the largest school districts in the country, the Clark County School District, and that comes with its pros and cons. Generally, the schools in Henderson perform very well. They perform higher than
top 10 in the country.
Well, they're certainly in the top grouping in Nevada, and some of them. I mean, we have Green Valley, Coronado. We have some great public high schools that are doing really well. We have some very effective charter schools, Coral Academy of Science, and Pinecrest, and I mean the list goes on. So sometimes it's we're taking shots on education that maybe we're working on improving, but people are kind of basing that on years past, and we feel like it's going in the right direction as far as developing and improving. So
a lot of great people behind supporting it. I know it's funny. It's nice to hear that like a bunch of people getting together to go down to the high school, because not the career path that most parents want their children to go, not always in their children's vision. So they get to hear from someone else. Like I know my son personally wants to go to UNLV, he wants to go to school of business, wants to get his MBA, but I think I wanted it more than he does, right? But he actually is, like I had a talk with him, he actually wants to, be a business major. So it's nice to see that. And then my daughter's complete opposite. She's trying to get into school to be a doctor.
Okay.
So this community serves both. It's funny because UNLV has both, right? No matter what way that they end up going. So it's just to see all the amazing stuff that we have going on here.
Man, I tell you, we, as, more and more, and I talked about the connectivity, but it's really, it's refreshing, for those who live here and those who are considering obviously come, but it's refreshing to know that leadership on all levels at this point, whether the industry, whether education, healthcare, our chamber and business development, bringing folks in, everyone's carrying the same message of positive, partnership. And I feel like that message is exploding and really coming to fruition in all areas. When I work or hear from, even, obviously here today with you, if it's partnership, it's everyone on the same page, driving the same mission. So for you, how's that experience been with the leaders from different industries? How has it been getting them all on the same page and really just pushing these efforts to succeed?
Yeah, well, I think, no 2 days are the same in the world of, Chamberland, so we say. I mean, it's such a diverse array of members that we have, from large to small, public to private, for-profit to nonprofit. So, everyone is looking to grow, and so they're all in it for the right reasons, and to support that growth is what we do. And we connect the dots. I mean, that's, again, I just go back to that we are the conduit, and we find the business to business to piece it together for everyone. And, not everyone's looking for the same thing, but there's general common threads, right? That everyone, you want to grow, you want to find more revenues, and you want to help the community. And so those are the things that we embrace and really try and drive forward. Yeah.
And if members, or I should say non-members, want to get involved with the Henderson Chamber, what's the best way for them to get connected?
Well, obviously, you can start with our website at hendersonchamber.com, but we really pride ourselves on being a personal organization, and calling the chamber offices will get you to going down the right path quickly with one of our great sales team members or myself. We really take a lot of pride in being a personal organization. So that's personal relationships, powerful results. That's what we like.
I guess that would go into, why does a chamber exist, right? It exists for the community.
Yep. Connect and be that connecting point. You said it, great relationships. For me, when we first started getting involved, Lisa Chow, I'm just going to throw it out there, was a rock star. She has been more than phenomenal in supporting us and just, taking the extra mile, both, originally obviously to introduce the chamber, but now as a friend. And so mad love for Lisa, and anybody consider and reach out to Lisa. I'm sure she can help out as well and getting you plugged in. What's the chamber website?
HendersonChamber.com.
There you go. HendersonChamber.com for anybody visiting. And then from us, Scott, honestly, thank you for coming on and really just sharing your experience. Like you said, it's been 9 years. So you've seen a lot of growth. And for us, we get excited because we've both seen so many different people, and Derek's experience has really
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. And then
April will be 20 years for me.
And then your experience with Henderson Leadership has been awesome and
yeah,
empowering
it's
in
been
itself.
amazing. I just, all the connections, all the people, the community, the outreach, the training, the facilities, everything's been great. Nevada State Bank, Wells Fargo, great sponsors, just to have everyone inside the room. And, we got to pick a great program that we're a part of, I Care for Kids, it's an amazing program. Funny is, it's year 2020 and with people on 2020 vision, so it was pretty cool one that we picked up. So we're just enjoying it. I think visiting a lot of the schools like Pinecrest and being a part of Pinecrest it's great to get out of what I traditionally do every single day for 20 years and to be bigger into the communities. Is great. Grateful that you came in. We know that you're busy. The chamber's, you guys are blowing up. Yeah, it's an amazing place to be. You guys offer so much, and just for you to take your time to come out here and be with us, you're someone that I always see. When I'm at an event, you're always there, and you're everyone that comes up to you. I don't know how you feel so many questions or how how you spread yourself so thin, but thank you for being selfless, and thank you for giving back to the community, because you truly are one of the biggest community leaders in Henderson, and I know a lot of people look up to you, they respect you, and you're just a gentleman, and thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Derek. Yeah, it's been great exposure, and appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, and you'll continue to see us at the events, obviously, as a big fan. And I care for kids. Guys, if you're listening, make sure you reach out and donate and support Henderson Leadership and the class they have this year. And more importantly, I Care for Kids. It's incredible what they're up to really provide, eyewear for these young students who really need support, and obviously to grow their confidence in learning and abilities. So reach out if you haven't considered already, and make a donation to I Care for Kids for Henderson Leadership. But guys, I'll tell you, I appreciate you, Scott. Thanks so much. Living large, Las Vegas, coming back at you live. And of course, check out Henderson Chamber and come visit us and go to some of these mixers. It's going to be a lot of fun.